style view of Donald Trump. Another one is somebody who actually cares about foreign policy and foreign wars. Those are two different views. And so I'm just interested to see what actually happened going on and keep an open mind. So
need to get the mics in.
heard about the protest, but let's see what we have to say in person. I don't want to hear any media's characterization of it. I want to see it.
So, it's MAGA.
Hey. Awesome is this,
What's
man?
going on?
Well,
Nice to meet you, man.
Vivek, get out of here, man. I'm doing good, Brandon. Good to see you. I
What's
love you.
going on?
I love you too, bro.
MAGA, man, you are repping.
Hey, that's
Repping for the
Keep an open
team.
mind.
Look at this. It's beautiful.
Yeah, hold on. I got one more surprise.
Repping for the home team here in Chicago.
Yeah, the Chicago born and raised here, man. I'm tired of this shit here, man. All these Democrats.
What's it say?
Trump was right about
Trump was
everything,
right,
man.
A lot of these people want to stay out of war. So my point is, you got a president who kept you out of war for 4 years.
Yeah,
Consider that.
exactly.
Consider that as a bet.
Kamala Harris is running against her own administration. It makes no sense.
And actually, some of these people agree with you on that.
Yeah,
it's actually what's fascinating about this protest is it's sort of interesting. They dislike Kamala for some of the right reasons. Actually.
Can I take a selfie with you guys, please?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Oh
sure.
my goodness, this is so awesome.
The other thing is, like, when you're talking about crony capitalism, like you got some Bernie bros over there. They
We're
stole it
against the
from
bailouts.
Bernie.
Yeah.
You know they stole it.
man.
You know they stole it from
Vivek
Bernie.
What's up, guys?
What's
Sorry,
up,
sorry,
homie?
sorry. Give a message for Chicago.
A message for Chicago is this has the potential to be one of the greatest cities, not just the United States, but the world. It's beautiful. It's located on the Great Lakes. It's in the Midwest. It's the heart of the country. It's got everything that you would want living in a major city, except for the fact that it's been governed so poorly, that crime is as rampant as it is. What is it? I think that there's a murder every 14 hours. I think there is a sexual assault or rape, according to the figures, every 4 hours. There's a car-related theft every 18 minutes in this city. And so my parents, they came to the United States of America legally through the front door, leaving a third world nation to do it. I'm not sure that that's exactly the right way you're supposed to say it, but the fact of the matter is it's true. India in the 1970s and early 80s was a third world nation. And yet now we have third world conditions in many parts of the United States right here at home, from Kensington in the middle of the inner city of Philadelphia,
Yep.
one of the places we visited once together,
Zombieland.
all the way to even parts of
Zombieland.
Chicago,
Yeah.
the south side of Chicago. It's insane what citizens have to go through here. Turning South Shore High School into an encampment for migrants, people in this community are right to ask, what about me as a law-abiding citizen right here?
That's right.
So I don't want to just complain about it, though. I want to help solve the problem. And I think at the national level, the best way to do that is, I believe at this point, put Donald Trump in office, but not just at the national level. I hope that filters down to the state and local level as well, because that's what's going to revive and make Chicago and cities like Chicago great again as well. That's what I think.
You know, it's a great message for Chicago. Go to the Barack Obama Presidential Library site. It's under construction right now. He's building a massive 20-story monument to himself. Stand in the shadow of that monument and go ask the people who have to live in that neighborhood on the south side of Chicago, Trump, Kamala, Barack Obama, who do you want? I did that yesterday, and every single one of those people said Trump. Every one I spoke with.
So,
Every person in Barack Obama's old neighborhood said they want Trump back in office.
yeah.
So, how do you get that?
I want to talk to some more of the protesters,
Yes,
actually. I'm kind of
absolutely.
curious, man. Good seeing you.
Good to see you. One
Good
more
seeing
thing
you,
about the tax, no tax
Yep.
on tips. Kamala took that from Trump, and I take that serious. I'm 30 years in the service industry in the city.
Thank you, man.
So I take that serious.
Good meeting you, man. Thank
She
you.
stole it. She stole it.
See what's going on here.
Good. What's up, stream? What's up, chat? How we doing?
Look, I think it's going to be a positive to have RFK
Good, we
involved
rolling?
in some way. We'll wait to see what happens. I don't want to front
How we
run the
sound?
announcement,
Good?
whatever
A lot of
it might be tomorrow.
Look at this.
But one of the things I like about RFK is he was passionate about the issue of COVID-19 and about the wrongs that were committed by our government policy response to it. So could he be somebody who's involved in at least playing a role in rectifying some of that? I think he'd be great in a number of different respects. And so we'll see what his decision is.
What's up, guys?
He deserves the space to make
We're
that
walking.
decision and announce it for himself. But if it turns out that he does get involved in the next administration, I think that could be a very good thing. I believe that.
Were Trump adjacent people worried at all that he was drawing too much from them and, come with Harris?
Forget the horse race politics of it. On the vision of it, I don't agree with RFK on a lot of things. I've said that all along. But I respect that he was able to be an independent voice And do I believe he can make contributions in the future to this country, including in a future administration? I do, actually. I do think that. I want to talk to some of the folks here.
Kamala Harris since you're
Cool.
State your policies.
We're rolling.
State your policies. That's my message, George. State your policies. Tell the people what you believe. Offer a vision for the country, and that's exactly what we want. I actually would want to talk. Yeah.
How's it going, brother?
Good to see you. So tell me about
My
you.
feet, get in there.
About me, my name is Austin. I'm with the Revolutionary Communists of America.
Good.
It's the American section of the Revolutionary Communists.
May I take some literature?
You can
take a
read,
look?
but it is for sale. That's
It is
for free, though.
It's for sale.
I know.
The
In a
communists are
capitalist
practicing
country.
capitalism. How much is it?
It depends. So that's all under $5. Paper's $5.
I think we can afford that.
I would say so.
Let's got my wallet somewhere we can get or can spot you some. I like this. See, the communists have Venmo. They've got all the digital infrastructure. I like that. Well, we can do cash. What's your best book?
Oh, best book? Well, let's see. I don't want to give you one you might use. Here, how about if you want to know what we're about, brother.
That's good. Absolutely. What's this one about?
This is our paper. We write this and we produce it monthly.
How much is this?
Also $5.
All right. We owe him a second $5. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. So let me ask you, here's my issue. This is one of my issues with Kamala Harris. I want your perspective on it. I think she has two issues. She has not stated her actual policies. And the reason I respect somebody like Bernie Sanders more than I respect Kamala, and I've said this numerous occasions, I'm not saying it just right now, is if you have convictions, at least stand by them. If you believe in single-payer health care, if you believe in an effective national health care system for all, then stand by it. But why adopt those positions 4 years ago only to back off of them today? Right? I could disagree with you, but at least have the position and stick to it. That's sort of what my criticism is. And my suspicion is there might be some counterintuitive alliances between the so-called far left and actually segments of the so-called far right that want to stay out of foreign wars, that want to end crony capitalism and lobbying and government capture, to say that, you know what, there might be ways where you may not agree with 100% of what I say or what Donald Trump says, but you don't have to agree with 100% of what somebody says to think outside the box and vote a little bit differently. What do you think? I actually, you said I wanted, I am here to listen a little bit, and so I'd love to hear your guys' perspectives on why you're here and why you have your own disappointments with the current direction of the Democratic Convention.
Yeah, I would say just to respond to one thing, we don't have any illusions that these candidates on either side, obviously to be clear, that Trump or Kamala or RFK Jr. or any party that is backed by big business is going to be able to represent us. They can't be pressured into representing us because we don't pay their bills, we don't pay Kamala's, Trump's, we don't pay yours, because they all have financial backers. That's why we need a workers' party to take down the two ruling class parties, one that doesn't have funding from these big businesses and is instead funded by its membership.
Yeah, I mean, you realize the convention here, I don't need to preach to you then, but who buys the sweets, right? Talking about populist talk from the floor of the convention, stand up for the workers and break up the very companies that are sponsoring the whole event, right? So there's a bit of a paradox there. But, all I would say is...
A paradox in what exactly?
Of controlled rhetoric, right? You have a lot of corporate interests controlling the way in which they actually assail those very corporate interests, which is kind of interesting. It is. I think we might be saying something similar. It's all a bit of a charade.
Yeah,
So
I
anyway.
would say one thing that is definitely we're not similar on is you were talking about unification of like the far right and the far left. There is.
Well,
no
I don't know about unification, but there may be some common threads.
Well, we would say this: that there is no perfect American communism, American socialism like this. These other little parties popping up. It has to be international. We aren't here for the success of American working class, because the only way we can be there for the success of the American working class is the international working class in Canada and in Mexico. If you had some, and now we don't believe in this, but let's say there was some perfect, socialist America, it would immediately get pushed out by China, by Russia, by Europe. So we need an international socialist revolution in order to secure a true victory for the working class.
Woo! Vivek, what
Well, I
are
appreciate your
thoughts
views,
on
man.
reparations for Black Americans?
So here's my perspective. I was asked about this when I came to the south side of Chicago a year ago, and my position on this has not changed, is I'm against race-based reparations because I think it will create more division, not less.
Race-based discrimination that occurred in this country for
Yeah, so I should let me just clarify one aspect. I think there was a time and place for it in the Reconstruction era. But today, when we actually bring back racial reparations, it actually causes greater discrimination, not more. I think we're seeing a rise in anti-Black and I think other forms of racism in the country. But part of the reason I think we're seeing it is there's no better way to foster racial animus than to take something away from someone based on their skin color.
So don't
Have we done that in this
people
country?
justice because it'll make other people upset.
Well, because it's going to create more division and be self-defeating. I think it's actually going to set Black Americans back because it will cause. I mean, I actually.
Black Americans
I'll give
continue
you-
to live in that South.
I'll give you one example.
I want to move out of
What-
the middle of this.
Yeah,
just 'cause I
sure.
feel like so let me say this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not going to be
I'll
able
address
to
your
solve,
question.
You
Yeah.
are not going to be able to solve this problem under capitalism. You're always
Yeah.
going to be coming up with these little band-aid issues. That is why the only way to truly get reparations for the indigenous people, for the Black Americans in this country, is a socialist revolution, is by seizing the means of production and letting that community give themselves reparations. We don't need to be asking for, oh, please, God, would you maybe give me something? No, the workers of the world need to take it. Look at the fires in Maui. Oh, maybe Oprah and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will help out. Fuck no, fuck that. The working class of Hawaii can rise up and take care of themselves.
I think
and take the
that's
reparations
actually
they
funny.
need. And the same what can be true in Chicago and in America and all of the Americas internationally, and that is also linked with the liberation of Palestine. We kill the American war machine here. Internationally, it's over.
Okay.
Mr. Vivek, do you think they should
I-
have brought out a
out of respect-
Palestinian family to speak in contrast?
Out of respect to her, I just want to finish answering a question, then we'll get out of your way. So, you know, what I would say is I actually have built businesses. In many of the businesses I've built, we've had Black women who have been in leadership positions, right? One of the things that irritated the heck out of me was that many times you would have people who were not as good at their jobs that would gripe about that person getting the job because of her race or her gender. And I think that's insulting to a lot of people who otherwise would have had their position based on merit anyway. So when we create more race consciousness, I think it sets all of us back versus asking, how do we actually get to equality of opportunity in this country? Have we been perfect about that? No, we have not. But that's the conversation I would rather be having rather than quotas at the end of the process, which is a different view. But the intention is still the same.
Quotas and things like that, right? Being allowed to come into America.
I think the beauty of America is that if you love this country and are willing to make contributions, you should have a legal way of getting in. So I'm also dead set against illegal immigration. And you want to know one of the things that's setting a lot of Black Americans back, including in the south side of Chicago where I visited,
63rd?
is actually the wave of illegal mass migration that is turning South Shore High School into an encampment for migrants at $7,000 per migrant per month. That's not good for Black Americans here any more than it's good for white Americans in the middle of Ohio. And so I favor equality of opportunity.
Loves America myself. I have to say, what do you have if you really care about this nation? Then what do you do? If you really care about America, what do you do for the people of America? Because right now, the people of America are homeless. They are struggling.
Yeah.
There's high crime rate. Not to mention the fact
Let's
that
grow the economy. Ensure.
Still sending money to a genocidal state, and it's not doing anything for the people.
So here's what my perspective is economic growth is unifying. Economic growth is unifying. Part of what we need to do is actually make energy available. Bring down energy costs for people. Put money in people's pockets through actually allowing the economy to work. And I think that's something that actually could unite us.
What do you think of Russia and the United States? Will they change or not?
What's that?
In relation.
Program. You know, we don't care about how the economy is going. We just want more social welfare.
Do you think the DNC
Well, I
should
think
have brought out
a lot of the social welfare programs have hurt the very people they were designed to help. And that's something that we need to actually improve.
Can you tell us why you came to this protest today?
I want to hear alternative views. I mean, the reason I ran for U.S. president wasn't to lead a party, it's to lead a country. And all of these people are part of the same country that I'm a part of. So even though we don't agree on everything, I still want to hear their views. And I don't believe what the media filters say. Right-wing media, left-wing media, I want to see it for myself. That's why I'm here.
Who will the next president?
Curiosity and openness to hearing alternative views. I think that we don't do a good enough job of that in our country, and I want to lead by example.
And what do you make of what you've seen of the Democratic Convention thus far?
So I haven't been to the convention yet, in fairness. I'm going to go there right after this. I think if they did as good of a job at building walls to keep illegals out of our country as they do to build walls to keep these people out of their convention, our border crisis would be solved. That's the first takeaway I would
What are
take.
you hoping to get across to people here today at this park?
That we're all American. And even though we disagree with one another on policy, perhaps, I think we do in certain areas here, even if we all disagree on policy, we still agree on certain basic principles like free speech, that we all get to peacefully speak our minds openly as long as your neighbor gets to in return. And I think it's a beautiful thing. It doesn't exist in most countries around the world. It hasn't existed for most of American history, in most of pre-American history. So I think that's what makes this country great.
And for those
that's
who
what we're
voiced
celebrating.
opposition of your presence here that don't want you here necessarily,
Yeah.
what do you get across to them?
Hey, man. Well, look, my view is you don't have to agree with everything I say, but what you deserve is leaders who are at least going to tell you what they believe 100% of the time.
Yeah, like, did you get down
That's
to
what
pray
America's
at
built
a
on.
transgender prayer rug?
Do you think that
I want to take a look at what's going on here.
DNC should invite a pro-Palestinian speaker to speak?
I think the DNC should practice what they preach with respect to free speech. It's been a
We're
party
live
that's been
streaming,
long
so
opposed
I gotta
to
stay with it,
censorship
but what's
back
up?
50 years ago. That used to be a democratic principle. Today, the Democratic Party has become the party of censorship. That is what I believe.
Can you answer the question? Should there have been a Palestinian speaker specifically?
Well, I'm not running the Democratic Party, right? So what they do in terms of their internal party business, I'm not even part of the Republican Party machine, let alone the Democratic Party machine. Hey, how's it going? Come on, good to see you. Hey, how are you, man? Good. Good to see you, man. Do you need a mic or anything, or you good?
Bothered
All right, good.
by this current regime. They're trying to psyop all of us
Thank you.
into this universe where they weren't in power for 12 of the last 16 years, the last 4 years, and that all of these problems are not their fault.
So,
they also hamstrung Donald Trump when he was president.
If you don't mind, I want to get
the
through and
issues
just talk
that
to some of these
people
people
have
here.
in this country and the pain that people feel in this country are a result
that?
of the
The
Democrat Party.
spokesperson?
Period. They've been in
which one?
power. You own it.
Which one is he?
You don't get a chance to like step back and say, no,
Spokesperson
I'll
where?
fix it on day one. You are day one.
How are you?
So
I'm not a congressman.
we're here
I'm
to
just,
sort of see
ran
what
for US
people are
president. Yeah, thank you.
thinking, saying on
How are
their
you?
side.
Listen-
Maybe there's some common ground.
what?
And if you
What
hate
people
war,
here have to say.
if you hate
I'm actually
forever
curious
war,
what the
then
complaints
you
are
should
about.
vote for Donald Trump.
what you're doing here.
This group is really about socialism.
Genocide
third-party
against
groups.
Palestinian people?
Yeah.
What does
I
that
am
say in the
an
election coming up?
American who is actually here to listen to the views of people who
I think that
disagree
America
with me.
will never
Now,
be a socialist
one of the
country.
reasons
I think that-
I'm supporting a
you a
candidate in this
supporter of
election.
It is a very bad brand.
Do I support the United
calling
States,
her
and because of that, I
Communist
support
Kamala is a very
Israel
good
and our
brand.
relationship
You
with
Because
them.
support
exactly
a
what you want.
genocide that has killed 40,000 Palestinians in the last 10 months.
So look, I think that the truth is there was an attack that precipitated it.
No, the
And we
truth
can't
is,
ignore
listen,
that.
Dude,
We can't
I
ignore
don't
that
play
fact.
those kinds of games. I'm an
But
organizer. I'm not one of
but
your.
I'm also a pragmatist.
I'm not one of these people.
You're not a
that
party
you're,
hack. You're
I'm
not a partisan
an
hack.
acolyte of yours.
You're not a partisan
I'm
hack
not
for
an
the
acolyte
Democrats
of
or
yours,
otherwise.
and I'm not a hack for you or for the
got
Democrats or
you.
for the
I
Republicans
got
or
you.
nobody else.
I got you.
I'm asking you that you have no right to be here if you're not in support of the Palestinian people.
Well, I think
And if
that
you're not going to call
here's what I
for
believe.
an end
You
to a
have the right-
genocide,
you have the right to
if
be
you're
here.
not going to call
So do we
for
in
an
return.
end to the genocide and an end to the killing and an end to support of Israel, then you should take off. We don't want you here. You're not welcome here.
Well, the good news is we're America, and so we actually get to all express ourselves
Really? You
peacefully.
get to express being a racist?
You get to
You get to express being a racist Zionist
I
pig?
Is
Is that what you get to express?
I'm pro-American,
You
but I
want to
believe in your
express
right to
that?
speak. I believe in your right to speak your mind. None.
You're racist.
That's a lie.
pig.
That's a lie.
Zero.
That's a lie.
And actually,
You're not welcome here. Racists aren't welcome here.
you can just go this
Racists
way.
aren't welcome here.
Racists go home. Thank you. Thank you, man. Good to see you guys. It's good to see you guys. Very interesting. Thank you.
Vivek.
Thank you. Hey,
Hi,
how are
Matt
you?
Gutman with ABC News.
Good to see you, man.
Why are you here today? Why did
I'm
you
actually
come?
very curious to see what's going on here.
Okay.
It's very interesting.
What did you find? You just got
What
called
I find is,
was it a Zionist?
I don't know where they would derive that label, but the truth is, people here are upset. People here are upset. They don't want to go to war.
Wait 1 second.
Thank you.
Was it an act of provocation to come here, though?
No, I don't think
Did
so.
you not
I don't
expect
intend it
that
as it.
reception?
I'm very curious about exactly how this works. So, thank you. Thank you.
Did you learn anything?
What's that?
Did you learn anything?
Yeah, I am. I think a lot of people here are very angry.
What does it matter?
Fuck ABC News.
Okay.
My takeaway is that people are angry. People are angry. I actually believe in the idea of free speech and open debate in the United States. And if there's a peaceful protest, as long as it's peaceful, as long as it's peaceful, that's actually what it makes. That's what makes sense. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, I think let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. I think we're good.
Have you talked to Trump about the convention so far?
Yeah, we just guys got here. I just got here myself. Thank you. Thank you.
Donald Trump is best friends with Jeffrey Epstein.
Thank you. Good to see you, man.
This is what I'm actually here for.
Thank you.
This is what
Thank
I'm
you.
Being a friend of genocide. Say free Palestine. Shit, say free Palestine.
Thank you, man. I love you back.
Say free Palestine.
Good to see you.
Rebecca is
Thank you. Thank you.
You're afraid to be here today.
What's that?
You're afraid to be here. White dick.
No,
Say free
I believe in free speech. What's that?
Palestine. Say free Palestine.
I'm
Say
free, believe in free speech.
Say free Palestine.
Thank you.
I support you too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Go this way. Go this way.
Hey, Benny, you the man, brother.
I appreciate it. Stay with them. Good to see you. Thank you.
Say free Palestine. Stop being
Thank
a
you.
genocidal warmonger.
Where are we headed?
Stop being a Where are you going to hell? Where are you going?
Okay.
Talk to me about what you think about what just happened.
Look, I think it's interesting. A lot of people are angry here. It's a wild scene, but I wanted to see it for myself. I've been to liberal protests. I usually invite them in to speak. This way. Thank you.
I support you. I'm glad you're
Well, I think that I believe in free speech even for those who don't believe in the same right in return.
Moving back in.
So,
Yeah.
that's good.
Moving back in. This is fun.
So that's
This is
what
more,
I
this
think.
is more
Yeah,
fun than this is like the Iowa State Fair, right?
It's kind of fascinating. I mean, this is part of America. This is part of America. This is part of America. I mean, people aren't interested. I think there's a small subset of people who are actually interested in having an honest conversation.
When you got out of the car, did they recognize you right away?
Yes.
And they just completely swarmed you right away?
Yeah, I think so. That's what we're seeing. Right? I mean, just turn around and show people the scene. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Well, I'm going to go there at the request of doing some media interviews as a surrogate for the campaign, as I've agreed to be. But the truth is, I actually think Kamala Harris has not offered her own policies. And the irony is that a lot of these people, if they want to stay out of war, there is a president who kept us out of war for 4 years. There wasn't war in the Middle East. There wasn't war in Russia, Ukraine.
Did you see that there was a Hezbollah flag flying over there?
I didn't see that one. It was pretty wild. I wouldn't be shocked, though. I would not be shocked.
Also several communist flags.
I did see some of the people who were completely unclothed and expressing opinions that were hard to discern. I think there's probably a couple thoughtful people here, surrounded by, I think, what is a broader just anger that is taken, I think, a direction that doesn't strike me as super productive, to be honest with you.
Why do you think more people should show up?
At this protest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why. Because I think that there are actually a lot of people who may want to engage in thoughtful dissent, but the majority of what it's become ends up devolving into a, sort of a thoughtless, quasi-physical exercise. So I want to come see it for myself because I didn't trust any media distillation of it. But it is interesting to me that there is a Democratic National Convention. You got a lot of people who are bluntly pissed off about the direction of the Democratic Party. Yes. But the irony is, for if you really want peace, even if you don't agree with everything that a Republican candidate says, there's actually a better option. And I think that that's something that, for a lot of these people may not be something they're even open to. But for some people, I think they're look, I talked to these guys. This is pretty interesting. I got some literature here. I paid $5. They accept Venmo from the communist capitalists.
They actually handed out.
And it's pretty, no, we paid $5.
Handed out. It's donation.
They charged me $5, yeah. And they accept Venmo. But the interesting thing is my point was he actually had some thoughtful points to make. He had some thoughtful points to make, which was not points that I agree with, but at least he was a guy who was interested in dialogue.
Yep.
A lot of the other people.
Go.
Thanks.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Thank you.
You said it would be provoking
Take the front. I hope not. I hope that, I think we did have a couple of honest conversations early on. But my honest goal is, look, we're in this to lead a country, not just part of the country that agrees with us. And we're not going to have one country unless we respect the basic principles we were founded on, which is peaceful, free speech and open debate. That's a tradition that made America great the first time around. And I stand for the right of these people. Even many of them disagree with me, may not like me. I still stand for their right to be able to express themselves.
What did you make of that?
I think that I think a lot of people are naturally angry. Yeah, that's their right. I think it would be much more productive if we were willing to actually engage in an open conversation rather than engaging in physical shouting matches. But step by step is the way I view this. Step by step. Well, look, I support peace broadly, but I don't think that a mandated ignoring the existence of the attack on Israel is a reasonable thing to do. But what I do think is you need America to take a role that advances American interests in a strong way without apologizing for it, which is what Donald Trump did for the first 4 years, and take a pragmatic approach to ending not only the war in Ukraine, but delivering peace in the Middle East as well. Now, part of the reason that I think we have a strong relationship with Israel is that that's in the best interests of America, and it's been in the best interests of stability around the world. The other thing is, the thing people don't talk about much is most Muslims in the world don't even live in the Middle East. They live in other parts of Central Asia and South Asia. And I don't think that this conflict is necessarily representative of how many other even American Muslims look at this issue. These people, I think, are not representative of necessarily a lot of the way people look at this. I think they want us to cross the street quickly. Thank you. We're going across the street. Thank you. Where are we headed? This way? Thank you. Thank you. These guys know. Was the car? The car's right here. Thank you, man. It's pretty interesting.
Let's go, man. Pay attention.
Thank you. Very interesting. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Get out of Chicago!
Okay.
On the ballot, not for president, and I got disenfranchised by the DNC.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
I mean, I had
the Democratic Party. I'm sorry to hear that.
I had up to 60,000 more votes than Kamala Harris did in the primary.
Is that right? It's unbelievable, man.
Mind you, only getting on 13 ballots.
Vivek, are you
It's
staying
unbelievable.
for this rally? Where are you going now?
I'm staying for. This is rally coming here?
Oh yeah, there's a rally coming here in about a half hour.
Oh, I wasn't aware. I'm actually headed to the convention. I have a
Okay.
limited time here, so I'm
Okay.
going to be a couple interviews at the convention, and then we're out.
All right.
Take care.
Got your back, man.
Thank you. Good to see you, man.
You're out here.
How are you, buddy?
Dr. Dave, dude.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Good to see
Say hi
you.
to white
And you
people.
know I got
see
the
you.
30 million votes.
Say hi to my black ass.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Say hi to my
Well,
black ass.
the reality is
You're
that,
such a sellout.
we believe in free speech,
Sellout
right? So we
cool
are. So
Vivek.
that's what we get.
Sell
got
out
it.
cool Vivek.
I got your
Say hi to my black ass.
I'm dedicated.
Good to see you, man.
Why didn't pass the paper bag test for you?
It's going pretty well. Yeah, it's been very
I
interesting.
didn't pass the paper bag
Good to be
test
back.
for you.
I think
I didn't pass the
I think
paper
actually
bag
the
test
fact
for
that you got
Vivek.
people speaking their mind freely is a celebration of America. I don't agree with a lot of it, but that's the beauty. As long as it's peaceful. I agree with the first amendment. They put it first for a reason. That's the beauty. What made America great in the first place. So I think we should celebrate that. Thank
Didn't know
you.
we'd cause such a stir down here. Jeez.
Thank you.
Holy smokes.
Stop saying something white daddy dick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop sucking white dick.
We're heading out.
We're
We're heading out.
Say free Palestine, you smiling. You like genocide.
No, buddy.
I thought you support genocide.
Thank you.
Why would you come to free
Good luck,
Palestine?
Vivek.
How are you?
Why would you come to
I'm
free
sorry this is all
Palestine?
Yep.
Of genocide
Thank you.
of your own people.
Yep.
You never done shit in your bodyguard.
What's that?
Your bodyguard needs to be fired.
I think that
Your bodyguard needs to
it's
be
a good
fired.
question. I think the
Get
modern
better white
left is in search of a cause, is badly in search of a cause. So, right here. So, come with us, yeah. She can come with us. Cassie can come with us, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Come on, Joe.
We got everybody?
Almost. Still alive?
Close that door.
Here we go. What's up, people? So that was wild. All right. So that was really fun. Look at this. Holy moly.
Kevin.
So that was
Kevin.
crazy. So we were, I mean, listen, we wanted to be. Nice. Hey, that was fun. That was like the Iowa State Fair.
Dude, that was the campaign.
Amazing.
They were just looking at me like, how's it been?
So we are rocking and rolling. We're gonna head over to the DNC now. I'm not sure it's gonna be any better over there, but yeah, you guys just had a front row seat to Vivek trying to walk through a lib mob protests. Now it's hard to really pin down exactly what all these people were in favor of or for, but a lot of haters, a lot of lovers, a lot of people who are like very interested in what Vivek had to say. I think he had some substantial conversations. He's in a different vehicle, but I think he had some conversations, but too rowdy. There was just kind of a mob that formed. So what's up? We got Eric over here who's doing his best to blend in with the pink hair, and know thy enemy. But Vivek, I think, had some really good points when he was walking through, talking about like, hey, there could be some common cause here, and there's no way you're going to get around. Like, if you hate the way that life is in America right now, there's only one person to blame, and that's the Democrat Party. One entity to blame is the Democrat Party. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. So maybe you should consider like alternatives to that if you don't like what's happening. And it's a great message, actually. It's a spectacular message. So whatever your thing is, if it's Palestine, if it's Ukraine, if it's the economy, if it's the working class, if it's the border, whatever it is, right? You know who to blame. People who've been in power for 12 of the last 16 years and did everything that they could to hamstring Trump, so he couldn't get any, he got less done. So yeah, again, you know who it is. So that's what I could hear. I was separated from Vivek for a little bit, yeah. Let's see what's up, guys. All right, yeah, we had the stream on this because Vivek called me this morning. He's like, why don't we just go to a protest? I can tell you one thing though, his security team is A+. Vivek's security team to like deal with that and like keep that man up and moving. This is an A+ crew here. The cops were none too happy, mainly because of the crowd that was forming. But we got up and out of there quickly, and I think now we're safe and locked in and ready to go. What's the right takeaway here? People are activated. People are interested in what's going on, and people are ready to let their voices be heard. And really wanted to hear what Vivek had to say. I think that's maybe the final takeaway. Final takeaway is like, if Jeb Bush went and wandered around this, would anyone even care, right? Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, would anyone even care? Would people even like stop by and like even try and film? No, they wouldn't even waste their batteries on that. Vivek's a different animal, and so that it was a very different vibe. It was a very, very different vibe because people were quite interested in what he had to say, whether they liked it or not. So that's our this is our broadcast from inside the DNC protests with Vivek. Great job, Eric. Nice. Great job staying on him. Eric's gonna need a Xanax over here. But the security team is A+ for Vivek, so we're set. It was fun. That's a scrum, is what you call it. It's a scrum. It's a scrum. It's a rugby term when you can barely move and everyone's shoulder to shoulder, hip to hip, but fun. Like, it's fun. It's energy. I got the adrenaline pumping. Anyway, that was the takeaway. I hope it broadcast well. We were having some gear. There was some gear equipment. We were supposed to have a professional live streaming team, but there were some equipment problems. So I decided, let's just rip it, let her fly, and we'll pop back on live when we run through the DNC. Oh yeah, give me that hand sanitizer. Gotta take a bath in that. Yeah, some of those people do not. No, the levels of hygiene are down, very low, at like zoo levels. But hey, everyone's safe. Everyone's safe, and words can't hurt us. So thank you for watching. We'll take you all there. Yes, that's exactly right. Checking in on the chat right now. What up, chat? Checking in on the chat. You just saw us get exflowed.
Yep.
Is it the right term? Take it out of that event. And now I think we head to the DNC. So we'll keep it rocking. We'll keep it rocking at the DNC. The thing that the reason why we're going to hop off here is because there's no way we can get through security with a live feed going. So we're going to let it rock and roll, and we'll see if we can't simulcast on different platforms. All right. Thanks for tuning in. We love y'all. We're men of our word around here. We told you we would go to protest with Vivek. Okay? Tune in for the next live. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna stay rowdy. Going into the belly of the beast
we
here.
told Tyrone that.
Get your Tic Tacs ready. See ya.
Okay.